Welcome to my channel, Lobby 22. Hold on because it's going to be something incredible. The neon lights of Santa Monica's Ocean Avenue pulsed with life on that fateful Friday night 20 years ago. Derek, then a 30-year-old tech was with a knack for turning startups into gold, leaned against the bar at the Bungalow, a trendy spot buzzing with LA's elite. His friends were deep in a debate about the Lakers, but Derek's attention drifted. Across the crowded room, a laugh cut through the noise, bright, unguarded, magnetic. It belonged to Emily, a 25-year-old aspiring artist with a smile that could light up the coastline. Her auburn hair caught the dim glow of the bar's lanterns, and her energy seemed to pull the room toward her. Derek, never one to hesitate, grabbed his drink and weaved through the crowd. "Mind if I join you?" he asked, sliding into the conversation with a grin. Emily's eyes sparkled with mischief. "Only if you can keep up," she teased. They talked for hours about art, ambition, and the chaos of LA life. By closing time, Derek knew he'd met someone extraordinary. Emily wasn't just charming, she was sharp, her wit matching his own. They exchanged numbers, and as she left with her friends, she glanced back, her smile promising more. Their romance bloomed fast. Weekend hikes in Griffith Park turned into late-night talks at Venice Beach taco stands. Emily's free spirit balanced Derek's driven nature. She painted vibrant murals in her tiny studio apartment while Derek built his IT company, Nexus Tech, into a powerhouse. 2 years later, under a starlit sky at Malibu's Zuma Beach, Derek dropped to one knee. "You're my home, Em," he said, holding out a diamond ring. Tears in her eyes, Emily said yes. Their wedding, a small affair at a cliffside villa, was perfect, surrounded by close friends, with the Pacific Ocean as their backdrop. Their son, Jake, arrived a year later, completing their world. Fast forward to 2025, and Derek, now 50, stood at the helm of a thriving business. Nexus Tech's cybersecurity software was a staple for Fortune 500 companies, and their Brentwood mansion reflected their success, floor-to-ceiling windows, a pool overlooking the city, and a garage housing Derek's vintage Mustang. Jake, 18, was a freshman at UC San Francisco, studying computer science, a chip off the old block. Emily, at 45, still turned heads with her radiant charm, but something had shifted. Her paintbrushes gathered dust, replaced by a new obsession, social media. It started innocently enough. Emily joined Instagram to share her art, but soon her feed morphed into curated selfies and lifestyle posts. TikTok followed, and she was hooked. Her videos, dance challenges, fashion hauls, and day-in-the-life vlogs racked up thousands of likes. Derek didn't mind at first, he was proud of her creativity. But then came the friends. Emily fell in with a clique of LA influencers, women in their 40s who flaunted designer bags and VIP club access. They called themselves the Glam Squad, and their mantra was freedom, freedom from routine, from aging, from husbands. Derek bristled at their shallow chatter, but Emily soaked it up. "They get me, Derek," she'd say, brushing off his concerns. "It's just fun." The cracks appeared subtly. Emily spent evenings glued to her phone, giggling at comments from strangers. Family dinners grew quiet, with Jake scrolling his own phone and Derek retreating to his office. One night, Derek found Emily filming a TikTok in their kitchen, lip-syncing to a pop song in a low-cut dress. "Join me," she laughed, but Derek shook his head. "I've got a board meeting tomorrow," he muttered, heading upstairs. Alone in their king-sized bed, he stared at the ceiling, wondering when his wife had become a stranger. The tension simmered until Emily's 43rd birthday loomed. Derek planned a romantic evening, a rooftop dinner at the Standard, just the two of them. But Emily had other ideas. "The girls are throwing me a party," she announced, barely looking up from her phone. "Lila's leaving for Miami, so it's a big deal." Derek's jaw tightened. It's your birthday. Can't we do something together?" Emily sighed, exasperated. "It's one night, Derek. Relax." Against his better judgment, he let it go, pouring himself a whiskey and settling into their home theater with an old Tarantino flick. That night, curiosity got the better of him. Derek opened Instagram, where Emily's live was in full swing. His stomach churned. The party, hosted at a West Hollywood loft, was a spectacle. A cake, shaped like a glittery heart, took center stage, tacky but harmless, until the camera zoomed in on Emily laughing as her friends smeared frosting on her face. The crowd cheered as they headed to a nightclub, the kind with pulsing lights and overpriced drinks. Derek's grip tightened on his phone. This wasn't the Emily he'd married. When she stumbled home at 3 a.m. reeking of tequila, Derek was waiting. "What the hell was that, Em?" he demanded, his voice low but sharp. Emily rolled her eyes, kicking off her heels. "It was a party, Derek. You should try having fun sometime." He stepped closer, his anger barely contained. You're 43 with a teenage son who sees this crap. A nightclub? Really? Emily's face hardened. You're just jealous because I have friends who live a little. Stop controlling me. The word stung, but Derek didn't back down. This isn't about control. It's about respect. For me, for Jake, for our family. Emily stormed upstairs, slamming the bedroom door. The next morning, she left for her yoga class without a word. Derek sat in his office, staring at a photo of them from Jake's high school graduation. Emily's arm around him, Jake grinning between them. He wondered if that family still existed. Over the next weeks, Emily's social media spiral deepened. Her TikTok videos grew bolder, dancing in tight outfits, flirting with comments from strangers. Jake, home for a weekend, noticed it too. "What's with Mom?" he asked, frowning at his phone. Derek forced a smile. "She's just finding herself." But inside he was seething. Emily was slipping away, and her glam squad was pouring fuel on the fire. The Brentwood mansion felt colder after Emily's 43rd birthday. Derek, now 50, sat at his sleek glass desk in Nexus Tech's downtown LA office, staring at a spreadsheet. His cybersecurity firm was thriving, but his mind was elsewhere. Emily's Instagram live from that night replayed in his head. The tacky heart-shaped cake, her laughter as her friends smeared frosting on her face, the chaotic rush to a West Hollywood nightclub. It wasn't just the party, it was her dismissal of his hurt. "You're just jealous," she'd snapped, as if their 20-year marriage was a footnote. Derek rubbed his temples, wondering when his vibrant wife had traded their life for likes. Emily, meanwhile, was in her element. Her TikTok following had surged past 50,000, fueled by dance videos and "Get Ready With Me" clips. Her glam squad, Lila, a 42-year-old divorcee with a penchant for Prada, and Sasha, a 40-year-old influencer with a Botox obsession, cheered her on. They'd meet at trendy spots like Catch LA, sipping martinis and plotting Emily's next viral post. "You're a star, Em," Lila purred one evening, scrolling through Emily's latest video. "Don't let Derek dim your shine." Emily beamed, ignoring the pang of guilt. She loved Derek, but his lectures felt like chains. Why couldn't he see she was just having fun? At home, the distance grew. Derek cooked dinner, grilled salmon, Jake's favorite, for his son's weekend visit from UC San Francisco. Jake, 18, slouched at the counter, scrolling X on his phone. Emily breezed in, filming a TikTok in a sequin top. "Hey, babe, join me," she called to Jake, twirling. Jake rolled his eyes. "Pass, Mom." Derek caught his son's frown and felt a knot in his chest. Maybe put the phone down for dinner?" he suggested, keeping his tone light. Emily sighed, pocketing her phone but not before posting the clip. Dinner was quiet, broken only by Jake's quip about a professor. Emily barely listened, texting Sasha about a collab. The breaking point came 2 weeks later, on Derek's 50th birthday. He'd hoped for a family day, maybe brunch at the Ivy, a drive up the coast. Instead, Emily planned a quick lunch before a thing with the girls. Jake, home again, sensed the tension. At the restaurant, Derek raised a glass. "To family," he said, smiling at Jake. Emily nodded absently, snapping a selfie for Instagram. "Mom, seriously?" Jake muttered, pushing his plate away. Derek's patience snapped. Can you be here with us for once?" Emily's eyes flashed. "I'm right here, Derek. Stop making me the bad guy." The meal ended in silence. Jake staring out the window, Derek gripping his fork. That night, Derek confronted her in their bedroom. "What's going on, Em? You're more married to your phone than me." Emily crossed her arms, her face defiant. "Maybe if you weren't so boring, I wouldn't need to escape. The girls get me. They live for something." Derek's voice rose. "They live for attention and you're eating it up. What about Jake? He's 18, and his mom's acting like a teenager." Emily's laugh was sharp. "Jake's fine. You're the one with the problem, Derek. You hate that I'm finally free." The word free hit like a slap. Derek stepped back, his anger cooling into dread. Free from what? Us. Emily didn't answer, storming out to meet her friends. The next morning, Derek found Jake in the living room, packing for school. What's wrong with Mom? Jake asked, his voice low. Derek hesitated, then forced a smile. She's caught up in the social media thing. It'll pass. But Jake's eyes, so like Emily's, held doubt. She didn't even ask about my midterm. It's like we're invisible. Derek hugged his son, hiding his own pain. You're never invisible to me, kid. After Jake left, Derek scrolled through Emily's TikTok. Her latest video, dancing in a club, Lila hyping her up, had 200,000 views. The comments were brutal, living her best life, and haters gonna hate. Derek felt sick. Was he the hater? Weeks passed and Emily's obsession deepened. She'd vanish for hours, filming with the glam squad or attending creator events. Derek buried himself in work, landing a major contract with a tech giant. But at home, the silence was deafening. One evening, he overheard Emily on the phone with Lila. Derek's so controlling, she said, her voice sharp. I need to do me. Lila's reply was clear. You deserve better, Em. Live your truth. Derek's blood boiled. These women weren't friends, they were vultures feeding on Emily's insecurities. The final straw came when Jake called from school, upset. Mom posted a video joking about old boring guys. It's obviously about Dad. My friends saw it. Derek's heart sank. He checked the video, Emily in a skin-tight dress, winking at the camera. Trading dull for dazzle, she captioned it. The comments praised her, but Derek saw the cost: his son's hurt, their family's fracture. That night, he waited for Emily in the kitchen, his voice steady but cold. I saw your video. Jake did too. You think this is a game? Emily flinched but doubled down. It's just content, Derek. You're overreacting. He leaned in, his eyes hard. You're humiliating us. You're a wife, a mother. Act like it. Emily's face crumpled, but she didn't cry. Maybe I don't want to be that anymore, she whispered, walking away. Derek stood frozen, her words echoing. The woman he'd loved for 2 decades was slipping through his fingers, and her so-called friends were cheering it on. He poured a whiskey, staring at their wedding photo on the mantel. Emily's smile, once his anchor, now felt like a stranger's. He didn't know what came next, but one thing was clear: the glam squad had lit a fuse and their marriage was about to explode. The Los Angeles sunrise painted the Brentwood mansion in soft gold, but inside, the air was thick with tension. Derek, 50, stood in the kitchen, nursing a black coffee. His confrontation with Emily 2 weeks ago still stung. Her whispered words, maybe I don't want to be that anymore, had carved a hollow space in his chest. He'd spent days replaying their marriage, from starry Malibu nights to quiet mornings with their son, Jake. Now 18 and at UC San Francisco, Jake was the one anchor keeping Derek grounded. Emily, meanwhile, was a ghost in their home, her life consumed by TikTok and the glam squad. Emily, 45, thrived in her digital world. Her follower count hit 100,000 and brands sent free skincare and dresses for collabs. The glam squad, Lila and Sasha, fueled her ego. Over brunch at Nobu, Lila leaned in, her voice sly. Em, you're a queen. Why waste it on a guy who doesn't get you? Sasha nodded, sipping a mimosa. Derek's holding you back. You could be huge. Emily laughed, but their words sank deep. She loved Derek once, but his disapproval felt like a cage, and the glam squad's glittery lives, penthouse parties, younger men beckoned. At home, Emily barely noticed Derek. She'd edit videos in their home office, her laughter echoing as she read comments, slay, girl, and leave the haters. Derek, working late at Nexus Tech, saw her posts. One video, filmed poolside in a bikini, captioned Freedom Tastes Sweet, got 300,000 views. The comments praised her, but Derek saw Jake's hurt mirrored in his own. Jake had texted, Mom's embarrassing. My roommates saw her video. Derek replied, hang in there, bud. I'll talk to her. But talking to Emily was like shouting into a void. The tipping point came on a rainy Saturday. Jake was home for a rare weekend and Derek planned a family hike in Griffith Park, hoping to reconnect. Emily agreed, but her phone never left her hand. On the trail, she stopped to film a TikTok posing with the Hollywood sign. Mom, can we just walk? Jake snapped, his voice sharp. Emily rolled her eyes. It's one video, Jake. Chill. Derek's patience frayed. Em, put it away. This is for us. Emily's face tightened. I'm building something, Derek. You wouldn't understand. Jake stormed ahead and Derek felt his family slipping away. That night, Derek found Emily in their bedroom, scrolling Instagram. We need to talk, he said, closing the door. Emily sighed, setting her phone down. What now? Derek's voice was steady but raw. You're choosing strangers over us. Jake's hurting. I'm hurting. What's it gonna take to bring you back? Emily's eyes flickered with guilt, then hardened. Maybe I don't want to come back, she said, her voice low. Derek froze. What are you saying? Emily stood, her words spilling out. I've been thinking about divorce for 2 years. I want a new life, Derek. The girls showed me what's possible, freedom, excitement. I'm done playing the perfect wife. Derek's heart pounded. Freedom? From what? A husband who loves you? A son who needs you? Emily's voice cracked. From being invisible. You and your tech empire, Jake and his college, where do I fit? I'm 45, Derek. I want to live before it's too late. Derek's anger surged. Your friends are leeches, Em. They're single, chasing kids half their age, and you're buying their lies. You'll crash and burn. Emily's eyes welled up, but she didn't back down. Then let me crash. I need this. She grabbed her phone and left, the door slamming like a gunshot. Derek sat on the bed stunned. 20 years gone in a sentence. He thought of Jake, asleep downstairs, oblivious to the bomb that had just detonated. The next morning, Emily was gone before breakfast. A note on the counter read, staying with Lila. Need space. Derek crumpled it, his jaw tight. Jake wandered in, bleary-eyed. Where's Mom? Derek hesitated, then said, she's with her friends. We're figuring things out. Jake's face fell. She's leaving, isn't she? Derek hugged him, hiding his own fear. We'll be okay, kid. I promise. Days later, Emily's lawyer called. She'd filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. Derek stared at the phone, the words unreal. He met his attorney, Claire, a sharp litigator with a knack for winning. She's asking for half your assets and alimony, Claire said, scanning the papers. But her social media's a goldmine. Those videos mocking you, flaunting her lifestyle, could sway a judge. Derek nodded, his voice cold. Do what you need to. She made her choice. Claire smirked. This won't be pretty for her. Emily, meanwhile, moved into Lila's downtown loft. Her TikTok glowed with defiance, videos of her dancing in clubs, captioned, new chapter, new me. Comments poured in, you're iconic. But some stung, what about your kid? She ignored them, posting a selfie with a younger guy, a 30-year-old DJ named Zane. The glam squad cheered, but Emily felt a twinge of doubt. Zane was fun, but his texts were sporadic, his eyes always on the next party. Still, she pushed forward, convincing herself this was freedom. Derek, back at the mansion, packed Jake's old room, preparing to sell the house. He found a photo from Jake's 10th birthday, Emily blowing out candles with him, Derek laughing behind them. His throat tightened. He'd warned her about the glam squad, about the empty glitter of their world. Now she was gone, chasing a mirage. But Derek wasn't broken. He called Jake, promising a visit to San Francisco. We're a team, bud, he said. Jake's voice was quiet but firm. Always, Dad? As Derek hung up, his resolve hardened. Emily wanted a new life? Fine. He'd make sure she faced the consequences. The Los Angeles skyline glittered through the floor-to-ceiling windows of Derek's downtown office, but his focus was on the stack of legal papers before him. At 50, Derek had built Nexus Tech into a cybersecurity empire, but now he faced a different battle. Emily, his wife of 20 years, had filed for divorce 3 months ago, shattering their family. Her TikTok-fueled quest for freedom had left their 18-year-old son, Jake, reeling and Derek burning with betrayal. Her words still echoed, I want a new life. Fine, Derek thought, but she wouldn't walk away with his life's work. Emily, 45, was riding high in her new world. Living in Lila's West Hollywood loft, she posted daily on TikTok, her videos dancing in clubs, posing with cocktails, hitting 500,000 views. Her glam squad, Lila and Sasha, hyped her up, but her new fling, Zane, a 30-year-old DJ, was already fading. He ghosted her after a week, leaving Emily to post cryptic captions, real ones stay. Comments were mixed, some cheered her glow up, others called her desperate. She ignored the hate, but doubt crept in. Her followers didn't know her son hadn't texted in weeks. Derek, meanwhile, was rebuilding. He'd listed their Brentwood mansion for sale, a decision that stung but freed him from memories of Emily. The proceeds, Claire, his lawyer, assured him would stay safe. Claire, a razor-sharp attorney, had a plan. Emily's social media is a liability, she said, scrolling through Emily's posts. Videos mocking you, flaunting her lifestyle, judges hate that. We can slash her alimony. Derek nodded, his jaw tight. She chose this. Let her feel it. Claire smirked. She won't see it coming. The legal battle began quietly. Emily's lawyer demanded half of Nexus Tech's assets and $20,000 monthly alimony, citing her lifestyle needs. Claire countered with a dossier of Emily's TikToks, clips of her partying, joking about old boring guys, and cozying up to Zayn. This shows reckless disregard for the marriage, Claire argued in court. The judge, a stern woman in her 60s, frowned at Emily's videos. Emily, dressed in a chic blazer, squirmed in her seat. Lila whispered, "It's fine, Em," but Emily's confidence cracked. The judge reduced her alimony to $5,000, citing her public conduct. Derek sat stone-faced, victory bittersweet. Emily's world tilted. The loft's rent was $4,000 and her influencer gigs, sponkin for skincare brands, barely covered her Gucci habit. She posted a defiant video captioned, "Haters won't win," but the comments turned vicious, "Karma's real, and what about your kid?" Her followers dropped to 400,000, brands ghosted her, and Lila's support grew tepid. Sasha stopped texting. Emily called Zayn, desperate for a distraction, but he didn't pick up. Alone in the loft, she scrolled Jake's Instagram, photos of him at UC San Francisco, smiling with friends. He hadn't answered her last 3 texts. Tears fell as she realized how far she'd drifted. Derek, meanwhile, thrived. The mansion sold for $8 million and he moved into a sleek Santa Monica condo closer to the ocean. He poured the profits into Nexus Tech, landing a $50 million contract with a tech giant. Jake visited and they spent a weekend surfing at Zuma Beach, a rare moment of lightness. "Mom texted me," Jake said, kicking sand. "Wants to catch up." "What do I even say?" Derek's heart ached, but his voice was steady. "Say what you feel, bud. She's your mom, but you don't owe her." Jake nodded, his eyes distant. Derek vowed to be the rock his son needed. One evening, Emily showed up at Derek's condo, unannounced. Her designer dress hung loosely, her eyes tired. "Can we talk?" she asked, voice small. Derek let her in, his expression guarded. "What do you want, Em?" She fidgeted, avoiding his gaze. "I messed up, Derek. The girls, the videos. I thought it was freedom, but it's empty. Can we try again?" Derek's laugh was cold. "You left us for likes. Jake's barely speaking to you. You don't get to waltz back." Emily's eyes welled up. "I'm sorry. I miss us." Derek shook his head. "You miss the life I built. That's gone." She left, sobbing, but Derek felt no guilt, only resolve. Emily's TikTok took a darker turn. She posted a tearful video admitting, "I chased the wrong things. My family was everything." It got 200,000 views, but the comments were brutal. "Too late, girl." Her followers dwindled to 300,000 and the glam squad vanished, chasing fresher faces. Emily moved to a cheaper apartment in Koreatown, her dreams of stardom fading. She texted Jake again, begging for a call, but he replied, "Need time, Mom." The words cut deeper than any court ruling. Derek, now free, focused on what mattered. He took Jake to a Lakers game, their laughter echoing in the stands. At Nexus Tech, he launched a mentorship program for young coders inspired by Jake's passion. One night, alone in his condo, he found an old photo, Emily and him at Jake's first birthday, cake on their faces. He smiled faintly, then tucked it away. Emily had chosen her path, and he'd chosen his. The divorce papers were finalized, and Derek felt lighter than he had in years. Emily's crash was her own making, and his revenge, quiet, legal, devastating, was complete. The Los Angeles sunset cast an amber glow over Derek's Santa Monica condo, its minimalist decor a stark contrast to the opulent Brentwood mansion he'd sold months ago. At 50, Derek stood stronger than ever, his cybersecurity firm, Nexus Tech, soaring with a new $50 million contract. The divorce from Emily, finalized weeks ago, had left scars, but also clarity. Their 20-year marriage, once a beacon of love, had crumbled under her chase for TikTok fame. Their son, Jake, 18, was back at UC San Francisco, navigating college and his mother's absence. Derek, now free, was rebuilding not just for himself, but for Jake. Emily, 45, was a shadow of her former self. Her Koreatown apartment, a cramped studio with peeling paint, replaced the West Hollywood loft she could no longer afford. Her TikTok following had plummeted to 200,000, her videos, once vibrant with club lights and glam squad cheers, now somber. A month ago, she'd posted a raw confession, "I chased the wrong things. My family was my world, and I lost it." The video hit 250,000 views, but comments were merciless, "Karma's brutal," and "You chose clout over your kid." Her friends, Lila and Sasha, had vanished, chasing younger influencers. Emily's calls to Jake went unanswered, his last text, "Need time, Mom," lingered like a wound. Derek, meanwhile, found purpose. He and Jake spent a weekend hiking in Big Sur, the rugged cliffs a backdrop to their healing. Over a campfire, Jake opened up. "Mom keeps texting, but I don't know what to say. She hurt us, Dad." Derek's heart ached, but he kept his tone steady. She's your mom, Jake. You decide what she gets from you. But we're good, you and me. Jake nodded, tossing a stick into the flames. You're enough, Dad. Back in LA, Derek launched a coding boot camp at Nexus Tech, mentoring kids like Jake. It wasn't charity, it was legacy. Emily's spiral deepened. She tried dating again, a 32-year-old trainer named Kyle, but he bailed after 2 weeks, bored by her fading spotlight. Her latest TikTok, a tearful plea, I miss my family. I was wrong, got 100,000 views, but brands stopped calling. She scrolled Jake's Instagram, seeing him with friends, thriving. A photo of him and Derek at a Lakers game stung most. Jake's smile, once hers, now belonged to his father. She texted Derek, can we meet? I'm sorry. He didn't reply. She'd burned that bridge and he wasn't rebuilding it. One gray morning, Emily showed up at Nexus Tech's office, her eyes puffy, her designer bag swapped for worn tote. Derek's assistant tried to stop her, but he waved her in. Emily stood in his office, voice shaky. I messed up, Derek. The girls, the fame, it wasn't worth it. I want to come home. Derek leaned back, his gaze cold. Home? I sold it. You wanted freedom, Em. You got it. Her tears fell. I was stupid. I see that now. Can't we try? Derek's voice was calm but firm. You left us for strangers' likes. Jake's barely speaking to you. I've moved on and you need to. Emily sobbed, but Derek felt only resolve. She left, her footsteps echoing in the hall. Emily's next TikTok was her last. Sitting in her dim apartment, she spoke softly. I had a husband who loved me, a son who needed me. I traded it for nothing. If you're watching, don't make my mistake. Family's what lasts. The video got 50,000 views, but her heart wasn't in it. She deleted her account, the digital world now a hollow reminder of her loss. She enrolled in a community college art class, hoping to rediscover the painter she'd been before the glam squad. It was a start, but Jake's silence and Derek's rejection loomed large. Derek's life, by contrast, was full. He and Jake planned a summer road trip up the Pacific Coast Highway, plotting stops at every dive bar with a jukebox. At Nexus Tech, his boot camp thrived, with teens coding apps that rivaled his own early work. One evening, alone in his condo, Derek found a box of old photos. One caught his eye, him, Emily, and Jake at a Santa Monica pier, laughing over cotton candy. He traced Emily's smile, a pang of nostalgia hitting. She'd been his world once. But she'd chosen a mirage and he'd chosen reality. He tucked the photo away, his heart steady. Jake called that night, excited about a new project. Dad, I'm building an app for your boot camp kids. Wanna see? Derek grinned, pride swelling. Send it over, bud. As they talked, Derek glanced at the ocean beyond his window. The divorce had cost him, but it had also freed him. Emily's downfall wasn't his doing, she'd built her own cage. His revenge, quiet and legal, was simply letting her face the truth. Real love doesn't live in likes. The story closed on a crisp LA morning. Derek stood on his balcony, coffee in hand, the waves crashing below. Jake was coming home soon, and Nexus Tech was stronger than ever. Emily, somewhere across the city, was starting over, her lesson learned the hard way. The moral was clear, chase fleeting thrills and you'll lose what matters. Derek raised his mug to the horizon, ready for whatever came next. For him and Jake, the future was bright, no filters needed.